We are Jacksonville Youth Work Inc. The founder of our program is Israel. We all come from various backgrounds and ethnicities for the sole purpose of desiring to be a part of the solution instead of part of the problem. We are targeting the population that is the fastest growing, the one that is filling our prisons and detention centers as we speak. They are the young men who are supposed to be getting ready to lead the next generation, but instead, they are becoming members of the electronic plantation, the growing World Wide Web of the federal and state criminal database. This cycle must be broken. Through Jacksonville Youth Works Incorporated, these young adults will have an excellent opportunity to become productive members of society, leaving crime behind to pick up careers. These young men are the backbone of our community. Unfortunately, many of them are missing. Instead of being productive members of the community while providing leadership and guidance to the next generation, they are participating in activities that usually end up taking them from our community. We at JYWI have the passion, commitment, and vision to snatch these young men back from the clutches of despair, self-hatred, and the destruction of which they have been entrapped. This vicious cycle has been existing for several generations. Our young men's fathers were not there for them, so they repeat the same behaviors. Getting a high school diploma or learning some trade or employable skill, or even getting a new job is not the whole answer for our young men. They need to learn a new way of handling their problems, and JYWI's 5-year comprehensive program will give them a way to do just that. We treat each client as an individual. We assess them and discover what their needs are so we can identify the issues that require our attention. This prevents the sabotage of their own success. Much of what we do in this phase is help our client become self-aware of what is not working for them. We will provide them with what they need in order to shed that which is not working and replace it with a new approach. During the second part of Phase 1, we help our clients to dream again. We help them discover the positive inner self that has been dying to come out. We help them realize they are not destined to scratch out an existence in the chicken coop of life, but they are meant to soar like eagles. We show a specific video to every client when they come into our program and use it to cast a vision for what part our program will play in their lives. After watching this clip, I'm going to ask you to tell me which character in the story is represented by the little boy, the eagle, and the gust of wind.
Here's a story. It's a very old story. Maybe you know this story. Maybe it's your story. There was a little baby eagle caught in a storm. She was tossed here and there by the wind, battered, bruised, blown clean off the mountain and down into the valley. The next morning, a little boy came by. Shivering wet, he found her. He picked her up and he took her down to the farm. He tended her and comforted her, and then he laid her down in the yard with the chickens. A week passed. She had fully recovered. She ran and played with the chickens. One day, the little boy picked her up. "You are an eagle. Fly." "No, no, put me down with the chickens." A month passed. One day, the boy picked her up and carried her to the rooftop. "You are an eagle. Fly." "No, no, I'm scared. Put me down with the chickens." A year passed. The little eagle grew bigger, and the little boy grew bigger too. One day, he picked her up and carried her to the mountaintop. With both hands, he lifted her towards the sun. Fly! No, no. Just then, a gust of wind caught her feathers. The little eagle spread her wings. She leaned into the wind. She flew. She soared into the sky. She never looked back. She was an eagle. Are you the eagle? Are you the little boy? Is that your story? There are many, many stories. Which is the story that you are living? Which is the story that you want to live? You bliss.
So, who is the little boy? You and I. Who is the eagle? Our youth. Who or what is represented by the gust of wind? You and all the things you do that provide support. You are the wind beneath the wings of these eagles in our program. Throughout this presentation, you will notice we make reference to MRT. MRT stands for Moral Recognition Therapy. It is a cognitive behavioral therapy approach which has been used in many different settings. It has been successful in juvenile detention centers, alternative schools, prisons, sexual offender programs, drug and alcohol programs, and parenting classes, just to name a few. MRT and other cognitive methods focus on beliefs and behaviors. This approach does not focus on what the client feels. It is considered the F word. The focus of this approach is for the client to stay on topic. What goes into developing what we believe? Culture, parents, environment, TV, music. In this program, we expose the participants to opportunities to examine if what they believe is getting them what they want. In other words, are their beliefs working for them? If they are not, the step-by-step process the program takes the client through helps them to identify what is not working and helps them adopt new beliefs that will work. In order to determine the program's success, we have selected the following criteria as a measure: reduction and elimination of acquiring new charges, full-time employment, financial stability, and ongoing community involvement. Is not this what we want for these young men? To have the ability to self-manage? This program is going to empower us to do just that. We will address the source of their problems, which is their belief or perception about their world. Free the mind, and the rest will follow. The exercises that are utilized in this program help each client become skilled in identifying why they do what they do and how to use that knowledge to bring about long-term positive change. Would you agree that many of our young men have a victim mentality? We at times play into that by killing them with our kindness. As long as they see themselves as a victim, they will never see their need to change. Another major belief many of our clients have is that everyone is just like them. Everyone steals. Everyone is dishonest. Everyone lies, cheats, and does whatever they have to survive, no matter the cost. This belief helps them justify their behavior so they can use that as an excuse to avoid having to change. We at Jacksonville Youth Work Inc. want to use methods that work. MRT has the research data behind it that says it works. The further a client gets into the program, the more phases of the program they complete, and the less likely they are to recommit a crime. Once each client has reached a place in their journey where they have shed most of their self-sabotaging behaviors, we will shift the focus to educational and vocational training. We will continue to provide a safety net to prevent relapse through continued MRT participation. Although the MRT phase of the program should be completed by the majority of participants by the 16th week, each client will continue to participate in MRT group sessions on a maintenance level. They will continue to help new clients progress through the steps as they share their own stories of change and hope. Each client's individualized vocational training goals will be identified, and they will pair up with our business partners to assist them in continuing their vocational training. This will provide opportunities to obtain industry certifications which will improve their chances of securing long-term employment. By Phase 5, our clients will have secured full-time employment or will have enrolled in school full-time with part-time employment. They will provide key leadership to the overall program in the capacities that line up with their gifts and aptitudes. During Phase 6, our clients will focus on acquiring an emergency fund, putting the last tweaks to their budgeting goals, and securing credit. They will maintain a level of participation with the community where they will serve as advocates for those coming after them. We will address anything that is a barrier to their self-sufficiency. During Phase 7, each client will actively pursue acquiring real estate to either live in or to use for business ventures. As you can see, there are no quick fixes, but there are fixes. They just take time, money, passion, and a strong commitment to and from each client. Most programs do not last long enough to bring about the long-term change that needs to take place. That change being to not only keep these young men from getting reincarcerated, but achieving a level of success where they are now productive community members. It has often been said that it takes a village to raise a child. It will take each of us doing our part to keep the vision of JYWI alive and well. We know there are no quick fixes, but there are solutions. We must shift our focus from building more jails to house these young men to starting to build a community that they can become a part of. We must mentor them into what they were originally destined to, productive members of a community who are role models for the next generation. Now we'd like to share a little bit with you about our tax structure and how we are registered with the city, which will contribute to our ability to be successful. We are a CEDC. A CEDC is a Community Economic Development Corporation. About CEDC. The Community Economic Development Corporation serves as the economic engine for targeted Florida minority low-moderate income communities. The CEDC utilizes both a nonprofit corporation and a for-profit corporation structure. Utilizing a market-based business model, the CEDC owns and operates businesses that have a double bottom line. The businesses operating under the CEDC must be profitable in order to have a positive impact on the communities they serve. The parent, nonprofit CEDC owns and operates the companies. These for-profit businesses not only provide valuable products and services to the community, but they also provide the economic means for the CEDC to sustain its nonprofit community-focused entities. This structure will provide a means for Jacksonville Youth Work Inc. to provide immediate economic assistance and wraparound support to the local community through job creation. Our current system is not as versatile. The fact that we are a registered CEDC will help us maintain stability and increase our economic power and influence in our community. The ultimate goal of forming this type of structure is to produce income for nonprofit entities and jobs for the community. Through asset accumulation, we will shift from dependency on social services to independent financial freedom with new opportunities and job creation. We will shift from poverty maintenance to addressing causes of poverty and agency asset building. The goal is to train and mentor the organizations and their leadership. They will identify market-based growth opportunities that will create wealth for both the community and its residents. As participants in the development of their communities, they can create jobs, provide financing for small business startups, encourage entrepreneurship, provide financial education for first-time home buyers, promote higher education for new technologies such as green employment opportunities, and invigorate and support education and health initiatives in their communities. JYWI is dedicated to improving the quality of life for low and moderate income minority communities in Florida. Understanding that minority communities are often unheard in major policy debates, JYWI will work to ensure that their needs are addressed proactively and positively in major policy decisions. As a diverse coalition, JYWI will actively represent these interests with major corporations, educational institutions, special interest associations, and government officials. This concludes our presentation for today. We want to thank you for the opportunity to share with you. We also want to recognize and thank our sponsors and business partners.